I saw this fantastic shape with this impossible back window, and I wanted one, you know. And so once I decided to buy it and get it, it was just a wonderful feeling to have it, because there was a kind of an elitism too. I think what we all felt at that time, that it looked like a space-age car. I got the feeling that it was an eye-catcher. I mean, I drove it with flamboyance, and I have to say, this particular car here has a very great subtle color. I chose Positano yellow, you know, and I've always been a slightly flash. I mean, I used to wear pink jackets and things on stage. So for me to drive a car like that one, not only the shape but the color was definitely eye-catching, but to actually feel that a car, or anything for that matter, was made for you. It's a bit like having a suit made for you. You know it's never going to fit anybody else the way it fits you. No one's ever going to look like I look in this suit because it's made for me. Same with a car. You feel, well, this was actually made for me. And there's this car wandering about the country somewhere, hopefully, probably still in Positano yellow, that was actually made for me. It wasn't actually meant to fit anybody else. When you go back to a car that you've driven 100 years ago, there's all sorts of things gone wrong with it. You know, it's become loose on the steering, and nothing feels tight anymore. But this car actually feels really tight. And in fact, when I first tried it and actually accelerated, I was amazed, in fact, how the front of the car pulled up. So the power is still there too. But the main thing is it feels solid. It really feels drivable.
In reliability of the early years.
I'd had some trouble with it, recurring problems with it. It kept conking out on me. I can't remember exactly how many times, but it must have been a minimum of 3 times, that's for certain. And I was coming back one night from Brighton on my own, and you know, people like myself who are recognized easily, it's slightly embarrassing to be in the road with no form of transport and thumbing a lift or something. And it conked out right on a roundabout, turned right on the roundabout, and it conked out. I limped home in it, and I vowed I would sell it, and I did. I phoned the guy up, Halls of Finchley it was, and I phoned the guy up who'd sold it to me and said, Reg, I mean, it's got to go. I don't want it anymore. But looking back, I should have kept it.
Jensen,
It filled a gap in my life at that time. I mean, cars tend to do that, particularly for men, I suppose, but it filled a gap. You know, you want something that's yours, that's solid, that's macho, and it's an ageless car. It's ageless because it looks as good now as it looked then, and it doesn't matter whether you're 18 or 80, you feel good driving it.
Next week, the